So then, this F1 in Chicago rumour, the one that seemed to jump out as soon as it then just vanished back into thin air. It's something, and it tells us the kind of level of F1 fan-base discourse. When a friend of mine shared it in a space that I'm in with him the other day, I had a look at it and I went, well, that's goodbye to the NASCAR Chicago street race. And then I thought, what's the source that they say that they have? Because I couldn't see any other source for it. And very quickly afterwards, I saw like Planet F1 and GP fans coming in and saying, yeah, there is no source. And when it said things like there was going to be a $4 billion stadium built for the race, that's when, for me, the alarm bell started to twing, and I went, yeah, that doesn't sound right. But of course, the reason why the rumour has started is because supposedly the trademark has been lodged for a Chicago Grand Prix. And supposedly it's been lodged by FOM, Liberty Media. And none of that stuff's necessarily, well, surprising. I mean, I think F1 has the rights to the New York Grand Prix, and they were planning that one as far back as, 2013? I think the actual trademark that they picked up for it was actually more recent than that. What we need to think about instead is how F1 operates and how the fan base interacts with it. Because it's a very uniquely F1 thing to have these kind of rumours go around, and for having these rumours pick up this kind of traction and then them suddenly petering out. I mean, I'm not saying that it's impossible that on the 2026 schedule we have a Chicago Grand Prix. But what I am saying is that a lot of the evidence that we have points to the contrary at the moment. And believe it or not, ironically, a lot of these people are not part of this fan base, but feels a bit more like the kind of legacy of the 2021 season, right? Where after Abu Dhabi, where a lot of fans, especially Lewis Hamilton fans, felt very hard done by, they went through and they tried to, in the end, almost clutch at straws. Instead of just accepting that, yes, we understand that this was a mistake, that the FIA came to the conclusion that they had made a mistake. But because nobody wants to drag it through the courtroom, because this isn't the 1986 World Rally Championship, and you haven't had Italian stewards disqualifying the French team so the Italians can get a 1-2-3 and win the title, it's not as big of a deal. I think the kind of comparison you could make is politically Gore losing the 2000 presidential election with the hanging Chad scandal and the state of Florida. That's probably the other way that you could do it, especially if you're part of my American audience, which apparently is my largest demographic now. Then that's the way that I would consider explaining the 2021 season finale. But it's not a Team LH thing, as a lot of F1 fans who like to annoy other F1 fans or get annoyed by the existence of other F1 fans, which are ironically very similar to them and their own approaches, are going to behave. So how do we actually go forward with this? I think the best way is to have a kind of rational approach and to make sure that everybody knows everything in the as much as we can. So from what we understand, the biggest contentious point would be that you'd have to have something like a 10-year deal to be able to have a Grand Prix in Chicago, or any Grand Prix on the F1 calendar now. And I actually want to do a separate video on that at another time, so I probably will. So what that means is F1 is looking to do these destination races and races which they own and control. They're not going to let local sporting agencies, local ASNs, run it. And the reason why is because it keeps more of the money for them, and it means that the costs are lower for them. So what you'll see is these contracts for things like street circuits popping up more and more. And in more and more locations that seem to be paying money for it. Because FOM want to reduce the cost and improve the outgoings. And what better way is for them to do that than just going, alright, we're going to make it be this long at this many places. But anyways, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching and hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.